We're back. Welcome back to MLB Swing for the Fences show here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Coming off pretty good slate, I think, for our calls, our teams. Steve yesterday, and still undefeated in the three-man challenge, trying to give away flagship tickets over here. And Jason Gordon couldn't get the job done, finished last. So, yeah. We'll try again today. We'll get back on the ticket train. If you think you can beat us, get in the chat. Tell us why. We'll get you in somebody in the three-man and see if someone can take us down. Steve, how are you doing on this Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah, good. It was a fun slate. I was at the Cubs game last night. They had a fun win. Beat Brandon Woodruff pretty soundly. It was impressive. So it was a fun game. It was a really good slate until the Yankees game started for me. I thought maybe, the rain would continue and we'd get lucky in that one. We get rained out, but it didn't. And they hit, 6, 7, 8 home runs. It was pretty crazy off of Shane Baz. But, yeah, it was a fun slate. We talked at the end of the show. Basically, our favorite non-Dodger spot was that game stack in the Braves-White Sox game. And I think it ended, 11-10. So, that was going to be the winner. If the Yankees craziness didn't happen. So felt good to be pretty dialed in. We hit on the pitchers. Tonight it's going to be a little harder to hit on the pitchers. We'll get into it, but shorter slate, basically the same games that we had last night though. So same teams playing. That's usually different for me because I'm usually on, Tuesdays and Fridays. So, talking about entire series on shows is something that I don't get to do too often.
Yeah. And listen, if Jay Bird, you want in the three-man, you're in the three-man. Loyal member of the Discord, always in chat, posting some awesome, very good with Photoshop or whatever he uses to get in on that stuff. So,
shoot me a
Jay
DM.
Bird, you're in. We'll get you. Steve will send the invite, and we'll get you in the three-man. And good luck, because so far we're running Pierre. And yeah, Steve, we're patting our own backs, tooting our own horns with the Green Pavetta call was a strong one, right? We were pretty sold, both of us, that was the best pitching combination. I was hoping for 50. You laughed at me, Steve. They combined for over 60, did Hunter Green and Nick Pivetta. So that was awesome to see. But then you mentioned the thing that cost me, and I wrote a whole – in my article, I wrote up about the, Tampa win. I thought the Baz was going to be safe from the home run ball. The game starts late. It's delayed. And I've got Brave stacks everywhere. And I look up that game, and the Yankees list, like on the MLB app, of home runs. It was like I was reading it for 5 minutes. It was absolutely ridiculous. So
yeah, Baz
the Yankees buried me. And I felt like an idiot for that one.
Yeah, Baz was just we were talking about it earlier, just pumping 90-mile-an-hour cutters right down the cock, and he was paying for it. He was paying for it. That's for sure.
I didn't watch it, but you sent me a couple videos of the home runs he gave up. I was like, yeah. And that looks about right. Win to be damned, right? Those are going out in any park. So is what it is. We're on to tonight's slate. We'll go through pitching stacks, favorite one-offs, home run calls. We'll do pick six at the end. We got to do the dong draft, Steve, because I hit two
I know.
3.5K or less. Michael Harris and Ryan Jeffers getting the job done. So
we were talking about it at the game last night. The three-pointer is pretty rare in the dong draft.
Yeah. Harris was, cheat code. With that, we'll talk about Michael Harris because they're the first game on the slate, White Sox and Braves. White Sox going with Martin Perez here. Pitched a little bit in April, was horrendous, went on the IL with an injury for a long while, and then has just pitched once. Back on the 13th, went 3 innings in that one, 66 pitches. I think Perez is pretty damn dusty, Steve. I actually posted in Discord, I think you saw it, of I think it was like 426 pitchers that have thrown 20 MLB innings.
Yep.
Martin Perez ranks dead last in pitching plus, which combines stuff and command, tries to take the hitters out of it. I mean, I don't think he's quite that bad, probably, but hard not to be excited about this Braves team with what they're doing. I mean, I have to go back to them. It's just not even a question for me. I'm going back to the Braves. They're on fire right now. We talked about all these guys yesterday. Now they get Sean Murphy in the lineup. 314 ISO against left-handed pitching. This Braves top 7, man. Profar, Olsen, Acuna, Ozuna, Harris, Albies, and Murphy, I think are, talk about the Dodgers, but to me, the best way to go once again on the slate. And then on the other side, I like Hurston Waldrop a lot as a pitcher. Really like what I've seen from him. So I'm all over the Braves here. Steve, what are you doing with Braves and White Sox?
Yeah, Brave series. They crushed both games, and now they get, I think, the best matchup of the 3 tonight. Perez, for a long time, was not really a guy that we wanted to stack against, but he's a different pitcher now. For a long time with Texas, he was kind of a ground ball wizard. Career low ground ball rate this year, DC, only 30% ground ball rate. That's basically, that basically was the reason that he was in rotation. So Lots more fly balls, diminishing stuff at Atlanta. And then I'm not sure if you mentioned, like, this White Sox bullpen is in pretty dire straits right now. Their entire bullpen has either pitched yesterday or Monday. So if they can get Perez out of there early, I think this could again get ugly for the White Sox pitching staff. So I'm with you here. I love Atlanta in this spot. There aren't a lot of good offensive spots on this slate overall. I think Atlanta is up there with the Dodgers, and they've outscored the Dodgers the last 2 nights. I think that there's a good chance that they do it again here. Really agree on the top 7 here. It's basically sets up perfectly against a left-handed pitcher, especially with Albies and Sean Murphy in there. So yeah, it's all systems go here on the Braves. Probably going to have them on my main, and the price tags are kind of where you want them to be. They've actually they've come down throughout the series somehow. Matt Olson now under 5K, and basically everyone has come down. Yeah, so I'm with the Braves. Waldrop, I'm in on as well. I wish he was a bit cheaper, but I think that's just going to give us lower ownership. We've got the Sabre screen share here. They've got him around 10%. If you can see here, we've got the Sabre Sim projection and our own captain's projection. I always like it when captain is higher than the market on a pitcher that we already like. So do like that there. I'm in on Waldrop. I don't want to go to a bunch of the White Sox bats. What do you think? It's a smaller slate and they've been hot. I just don't really want to play into Waldrop, but man, Colson Montgomery's back in there after only 1 game off. That's a good sign. Maybe one-offs with the heart of this order, but I definitely don't want to be stacking them like I did last night.
I think Kyle Teal, who had a home run last night as well, mentioned him on the show, and Montgomery are, in my eyes at least, clearly the 2 best, and I do think they're worth playing as one-offs. But I'm with you. Been on the White Sox 2 slates in a row, but I'm on the Waldrop train here. And then, Martin Perez, I mean, these are the types of pitchers, right? Like aging veterans that are on their last legs. It reminds me of Carrasco's last start with the Braves. There's a good chance Perez is going to get DFA'd after this start against the hottest team in baseball, or one of them. I mean, just got to be in on the Braves here, I think. And I'll honestly be surprised if they don't have another big night at Truist Park. Let's go to Tampa, where the wind is not blowing in. I think it's safe to say we could see home runs in this one. 2 right-handed pitchers, Drew Rasmussen and Cam Schlittler, going for the Yankees. Schlittler's stuff has looked pretty good. I think there's some talent there. I'm not convinced he's quite ready to have success at the big league level, and so far at least has been hit really, really hard by right-handed bats. So reverse splits for Schlittler, I think that's maybe especially important for a guy like Junior Caminero, Yandy Diaz. And then Rasmussen on the other side, a good pitcher for sure. The duration with him is always in question. He has made it through 6 innings in back-to-back starts. Played a bit of Shane Baz last night. I don't know if I'm going back to the Rays pitching. Steve, what are you doing with Rays and Yankees here?
Yeah, that game last night really surprised me. I thought that it was going to be low scoring. That's like the one big thing that we did get wrong last night. Rasmussen,
very, very, very wrong.
We can't, only talk about the things that we get right.
Yeah.
Rasmussen has gone deeper innings wise, but they're still keeping him around that 80 pitch limit.
Yep.
Don't really want to use him here at that price tag. I don't really want to use Schlittler here either. I kind of lean the Rays bats. I think that Schlittler's going to have more blow-up starts than Rasmussen.
For sure.
The reason for not using Rasmussen is the duration and matchup. Not that he hasn't been good. He's been fantastic. So I think with the power pitching profile that Schlittler has, he's going to have starts where he gives up power. It's a good park for that to happen. And it's kind of a slate where, kind of like yesterday, we're looking for other options outside of the Dodgers that we can play in our couple of lineups. So we do have the Rays lineup here. It is expensive up top, but unlike yesterday, we don't really have the top end pitching that we really want to get into our lineup. So I'm not as, I'm not as worried about expensive bats at the top of the order, because I do like the cheap pitching tonight much more than yesterday. So different type of slate, going to be going after the more expensive stacks. And I do like Tampa here. Like you said, the righties have been giving him big time trouble. Yandy Diaz, Camporeale hitting 2 and 4 here. So not sure what a Bob Seymour is there in the 9 hole. We'll have to look him up throughout the show. But yeah, I am in on the Rays bats here, and I'm not going to play either pitcher in this spot.
Yeah, I'm off the pitchers with you. Rays look good to me. I do think Matt Rasmussen's been good, like you said, but the Yankees, I mean, we just saw last night, this team does have potential to nuke any slate. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'll have more Rays than Yankees, but don't want to cross off the Yankees here entirely.
Yeah.
Let's go to Minnesota, A's and Twins. We've got the righty JT Ginn going for, is it Ginn or Ginn? Do you know? Ginn?
I think it's Ginn.
Ginn. I think it's Ginn. JT Ginn going for the A's. I mentioned it every time he pitches. His splits are just, I've never seen such righty-lefty splits with a decent sample size too than Ginn has put up the last couple of seasons. Just absolutely hammered by lefties. Been really effective against right-handed bats. Usually those things normalize over time, but certainly notable, his splits. And then Bailey Ober, kind of a home run machine, right? I mean, this guy gives up a ton of bombs to a team in the A's who, man, we know they can mash, right? They got to Joe Ryan, ton of power at the top of the lineup, especially. I think this A's stack, I think somewhat contrarian on the A's. And then I do like the Twins lefties a little bit too. Steve, your thoughts here, Twins and A's?
Yeah, fairly warm in Minnesota. Not as good of hitting weather as we saw, I think it was yesterday. That kind of had us a bit lower on Joe Ryan. I was glad about that when I checked the box score during the Cubs game, that the A's got after him. This is the game on Sabre that the Sims like more than the betting market for the team totals. And it kind of makes sense. Like, these are two powerful teams going up against pitchers who can really give it up if things go bad. Yep. We've seen him over basically the entire season, just how volatile he's been. He hasn't had a great year. So, yeah, I mean, this is another expensive top of the order here for the A's, but, you're paying for the power. We're going to get them low owned. I think the A's are the side that I want to kind of play both sides of here. Like, I think Ober at his price tag is playable. Yeah. Actually, it's kind of the same on both sides here, because Ginn does have the strikeout rate at his price tag that you can play with Dodgers, I think. Mm-hmm. But then, like you said, I do want at least secondary stacks of the lefties in this Twins order. Don't really want the right-handed bats against Ginn, but Larnach, Wallner, guys like that. Even James Outman gets a cameo appearance in the lineup. That's how bad he's been to lefties. Is they want to get James Outman in there against him.
Yeah.
So these are not my two favorite pitchers, but let's look at the ownership real quick. We've got almost 30% on Bailey Ober and 10% on JT Ginn. I'll probably be under that for Ober. I don't really like playing him too much when he's popular. And like you said, it just seems like a very, very dangerous start for him against the A's here.
Yeah, it feels like Ober is going to get rocked at the start by the A's. I know the bottom of the order is cheap, so I don't think they're bad plays, but If I want the A stack, man, I kind of just want the 1 through 5. Kurtz, Langoliers, Rooker, Soderstrom, and Butler. Those are clearly their 5 best guys all in a row. Obviously, a little bit hard to fit them in given how expensive they are, but I don't know how many teams you built yet today, Steve, but I was getting, you can get an easy 5-man Brave stack with the good ones with the pitching you want. And, it's not a very salary restrictive type of slate, I guess is what I'm saying, unless, of course, you're going to the Dodgers. But anything else you can get relatively easily. Obviously, the A is one of the teams that's harder to get, but I'm with you. I think we're going to see home runs in this game, hopefully from the top of the A's order. And then, Twins, lefties. I just can't ignore those splits that Ginn has. And also say 7 lefties in the lineup for the Twins. They certainly.
Oh, we lose DC here. They definitely know the splits on Ginn here. Makes me like him less that we have 7 lefties in here, but the player prop on him at the price tag is really good. DK's got over 4.5 Ks at -125 in the betting market. So at his price tag, at what is he, 5,800, I think the upside is there for him to at least be in your player pool. So this is the one game I think we're both similar in that we are going to play both some of the pitchers and some of the bats. Again, lefty leaning on the Twins guys and the top of the order on the A's. I like the bottom of the order of the A's a little more than DC does. Hernandez, I think, is a solid play there at short if you need to go there. DC dropped off, but in the chat, can you just let me know if I'm still live here, and we'll keep plugging along on this slate until we get him back. The next game is in Kansas City. Texas is in town again. We had a bit of a disagreement this morning on who Texas was going to start. I think it was going to be DeGrom, and then they're going to push him back, and then it was going to be Rocker. But it looks like they are going to do a bullpen game with an opener, Caleb Bushley, who they called up the other day. He's going to at least get the start. He's 4K, but unplayable in my eyes because I think he's going to go 1-2 innings. And then they're probably going to give the ball over to Jacob Latz, who is a lefty who has pitched decently this year, but isn't anything special. Him at 8K is not in play here. So we're not looking at the Texas pitching at all here. Noah Cameron, I know DC wrote him up in his article on RPS today. Not a super high upside guy, only 78 strikeouts and 98 innings this season, but he's been really good at avoiding damage. I think on a slate where we don't really have much pitching up top as far as expensive guys, I think Cameron is playable. He's going to be low owned because the upside isn't there. Like he's really going to need a super clean outing at 9K to be in the winner. But Texas, our hand in this chart on the site shows worst team in baseball ISO wise over the last 2 weeks in a split against the lefties, 30th in ISO last 14 days. So pretty clean matchup for Cameron. I actually like KC in the betting market. I posted a couple bets for the members earlier. I can share those since it's only me on here now. I bet the Royals -125 on the money line here, partly because of Cameron, but mostly because of the pitching situation here for the Rangers. I think that the Royals are interesting lineup-wise here against this quasi-bullpen game. The Rangers' pen has really been poor since the deadline. So I do like the Royals here at home. We don't get, one of those smash weather games at Kauffman. Let me pull up what the weather is like there. It's pretty warm. It's in the mid 80s. So not a smash weather spot at Kauffman, but pretty decent weather for the Royals bats here. And they're really easy to stack on this slate where we're not paying up for pitching for the most part. You can get Witt and the top 5 in here really, really easily. So DC, we've got you back.
Yes.
I was just introing the KC game. We talked a little bit about Cameron being probably a high floor play on this slate. Really easy matchup without much power risk against him here. I think he's a nice high floor play. And then the Rangers are going to go with an opener and kind of a bullpen game here. So I think the Royals are interesting just because of how weak this Texas bullpen is in general. I don't think that many people will go to KC in a bullpen game, but like we were talking about with the pitching that we want to play, it's really easy to just play the top 5 here with KC if you wanted to go to a Royal stack.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I mean, they're starting Caleb Bushley, who I don't think is any good, and then like you mentioned, a weak bullpen behind it. So I don't like attacking teams with good bullpens, right, where they're gonna play matchups the whole way. But I don't think Texas really capable of doing that. So I do think the Royals good contrarian stack, and then Cameron, I still think he's kind of pitching above his head, in terms of the results that he's had, but it's been a lot of innings now for Cameron. They do look pretty good overall. And like you mentioned, good matchup here. I mean, yeah.
It doesn't really seem like the spot for regression for him, Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like Waldrop or Cameron better? I think it's close.
I like Waldrop better. I think the upside is just higher for him, even in the tougher matchup. I also think that he's got a much clearer path to getting the win bonus too. Waldrop does.
Yeah, I think Waldrop's a better, just straight up talented pitcher too. So I like Cameron. I do prefer Waldrop, but it's, I think, pretty easy to fit both guys. So both good plays. And like you mentioned, I think Cameron, one of the safer pitchers on the slate in general. Let's go to Milwaukee and Chicago next. Wind blowing in at Wrigley Field. Looks like some of the strongest inward blowing in winds of the year. It'll be veteran Colin Rea going for Chicago. Yeah, you can really attack with lefties. I don't know if I really want to attack this park, though. So mostly out on hitting here, I think. And then I don't know what to do with Mizorowski. Crazy talent. He's had some big games, but coming off a really rough outing against the Reds. And he's had a couple of those. I think the other one, against the Mets, he got knocked around too. But has some big outings out there. Was pulled early last start, I think, because it wasn't going well. I don't know. I could see him limited to 50, 60 pitches. It wouldn't shock me if he threw 90. Don't know what to do with Mizorowski. Curious where you're at, Steve, with him and the rest of this game.
Yeah, I think he's the biggest question mark on the entire slate, right? We haven't really talked about any pitchers with real upside. I don't think there are pitchers with real upside besides him. If they give him 5 innings here, I think he could pretty much lap the field on this slate. It's just we just don't know what they're going to do. I was checking while you were talking if they had posted an outs prop for him yet. Not one book has the balls to post an outs prop on Mizorowski here. I will say the Brewers and Cubs played a doubleheader yesterday where the Brewers used both of their long men. So interesting spot for the Brewers here after the Cubs swept the doubleheader yesterday. I could see them letting him, go 4 or 5 innings, 80 pitches. I don't think that that's the most likely outcome, but I think it's in the range of outcomes here, DC. And on a slate where we don't really have slate breaking pitching options, like, we just talked about Cameron. He's more of a floor option. Mm-hmm. If they give Mizorowski 5 innings, he could strike out 8, 9 guys here and kind of break the slate. So he's not going to be a guy that I'm going to play on my main team, but I think he's in the pool just because of that on a shorter slate without high upside pitching. I think he can put up a score that you need if they do give him, 4 or 5 innings here, although it's obviously not a lock. And the weather just helps him a lot too. I mean, like you said, 15, 20 mile an hour winds will be blowing in from left field. It's going to be in the 60s after first pitch here. This is the best pitching weather of the season at Wrigley. So it's kind of a context of a slate thing. If we had Green and Pivetta and guys like that on this slate, I probably wouldn't use any of him. But we don't. It's him and Cameron and Waldrop and guys like that. So I think I'm going to have him in the pool just because he does have that 8, 9, 10K upside in 4 or 5 innings.
Yeah, I was kind of hesitant on him this morning when I was researching and writing, but I'm kind of coming around on Mizorowski, partly because he's easy to fit. Like the top end of like third base, there's Camporeale, and then I don't think there's much else. So I do find myself with the salary to fit Mizorowski. And, if you look at the 54 pitches from his last start, that was over 1 1/3 innings, right? Like eventually, if you're just getting hit that hard, they don't want to have you throwing 40 pitches in an inning. It's just not the normal workload. So
yeah,
maybe
we don't know if the target was supposed to be 80 pitches there. He was throwing 80-ish before the injury. So
yeah, and also I think somewhat interestingly, his other blow-up start, that one against the Mets, he responded to that one, shutting down the Dodgers for 6 innings and 12 strikeouts. Right, so we have seen him bounce back from a really rough outing before. If you watch him pitch, like he seems like a guy who would be tipping his pitches or something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of trying to talk myself into some Mizorowski, partly because the ownership's not high, right? I mean, Sabres got him projected at 12%. That feels low for, I think, clearly the highest upside arm.
Yeah, I mean, people aren't going to play him because there's no prop, and these are kind of the spots that I think that we've done well on this year. DC kind of using our inference to come up with ranges of outcomes. I think 80 pitches and 5 innings is in his range of outcomes. If you told me that that's what he's going to throw here, I think he would be 40% owned. So I'm definitely going to be over the field on him. I'm not super confident in the duration, but like we were saying, we don't know if the plan was to have him go 80 pitches and then he just got blown up, So I definitely think that could be the case here. They're in a pennant race against these Cubs. And like I said, the long men got used yesterday. I don't know. I just think that there's a reasonable possibility that he goes 5 innings here.
Yeah, 100%. The term like cash game versus GPP play, I think gets overused a little bit, but this is like the definition of that. Yeah, there's no chance you would play him in a cash game or even a 3-man, or I wouldn't anyway. Maybe
maybe Jay Burton's going to roll.
Yeah, Jay Burton might blow him, but tournament, the upside's there. So why not low owned? Makes sense to me. Let's get to Coors Field once again. Dodgers and Rockies. Dodgers with a good night last night. Obviously, I didn't have mostly the right ones, unfortunately, but back in another incredible spot against Tanner Gordon, who's just some of the, it's like hard to differentiate between some of these Rockies pitchers. None of them are any good. You got to expect the Dodgers to put up another 7+ runs, right? I'm sure their team total back over 7. Same thing as always. I mean, Coors Field, wind blowing out, bad bullpen, yada, yada, yada on the Dodgers. Awesome plays tonight, of course. And then Shohei Ohtani, I think back in play very much so as a pitcher. He did disappoint last time out with the Angels, but they're saying you can go 5 innings here. Give me 5 innings of Ohtani against the Rockies. I mean, sign me up. Sounds good to me. Awesome arm, obviously, and huge upside. Love Ohtani at 7,500. I think he is the best pitching play on this slate personally is Ohtani. Your thoughts, Steve, on Dodgers and Rockies here?
Yeah, I agree. It was encouraging to see him get up to 80 pitches. I hope that it wasn't just, we're facing the Angels thing, we'll let him go. I don't see that being a realistic thing. No. I mean, they're getting him ready to be in the rotation for the postseason. They've had so many injuries. They're going to need him to be in the rotation because, they haven't been able to count on guys like Glasnow and a lot of the guys that they thought were going to be in the rotation for the postseason. So I think we get, kind of the same duration that we got last time. It didn't go well for him last time. I actually like that coming in because if he had dominated the Angels, I think he comes in like 50+% owned here. But he did get hit last time. I think that holds his ownership down at least a little bit. He's basically Mizorowski, but we know that he's going 5 innings, and he's 2K cheaper. So I'm with you. He's my favorite arm on the board here. I used a bunch of Sheehan yesterday. I think you used some too. Kind of the same deal. I don't really mind if he's only going 5 because he's extremely likely to get the win bonus, which matters more for these cheaper pitchers too. So I think he's a great play. Not scared of him not pitching well last time out. And then, the Dodgers stacks. Obviously, you can't use Ohtani on DraftKings, but that just makes them easier to fit as a 5-man pretty easily 2 through 6. We're going to get the pinch hit guys. We talked about it yesterday with Buddy Kennedy. He got pulled in the top of the 5th inning, and they were up 7-0.
You used him on your main lineup, Steve. I don't want to hear it.
I had to.
No,
I had to.
No, you didn't. I don't want to hear that.
JBC said that he was going to swan dive nude into his pool if Buddy Kennedy. No, it just he is back in there tonight. It's actually kind of an odd lineup. We just had it come through. Who is sitting here for the Dodgers? We've got Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, Teoscar hitting cleanup.
Mookie's out.
Mookie is out for I'm assuming Freeland playing short or Rojas playing short, something like that. So we've got 4 guys who are pinch hit risk now. Conforto, Freeland, Rojas, and Buddy Kennedy. Don't think all 4 will come out, but all do have risk because we're probably seeing Mookie come into this game at some point. Conforto will come out for Alex Call, who had a big game yesterday when a lefty comes in out of the pen. What's your way of playing Dodgers today? I'm going to pull up the Rockies bullpen situation while you're chatting about that real quick.
I just don't play the cheap pinch hit guys. Just don't do it. It's the studs, right? I mean, obviously can't play Ohtani, no bets, but Smith, Freeman, Teoscar, Pajes, and Will Smith, I think are the 5 I want. I know we're saying that with a lot of these teams, but again, pretty good cheap pitching tonight, and you can fit the Dodgers. So
it is a different situation than the last 2 nights with the pinch hit guys because we've had lefty starters the last 2 nights.
Yep.
And the Colorado bullpen has looks like 8 right-handers and 1 lefty. So
who is it?
A little less risk than the last 2 nights because we do have a righty starting here and there's only 1 lefty. So I think Freeland is a bit safer than he usually is. But, we're talking about Dave Roberts here. You never really know what he's going to do. So I will say I feel better about the cheap guys than I did against the left-handed starters just because of, all the righties coming out of the pen. So I do think it's a better day to play those guys. If they're up big, they could just give Betts a full day, or Dave Roberts could put him in the 5th inning. He's just a volatile manager who doesn't really have a lot of rhyme or reason for what he does. It's pretty annoying. But I do think it's a better spot for the cheap guys than Monday or Tuesday was.
I did miss the Rockies bullpen lefty righties. Do you know who the lefty is by chance?
I just closed it out. He pitched 2 days ago. Did not pitch yesterday. The lefty in the bullpen is Luis Peralta.
Okay, and he's pitched 2 of the last 3 days. Not yesterday though. So is probably available, but you're looking at 1 inning, and the Dodgers obviously would know it's all righties behind them. I'm with you. More interest in the pinch hit guys a little bit at least, even though those guys, they're not very good hitters too. There's also that issue, but that is Dodgers and Rockies. You playing any Rockies bats? I think I'm off those guys.
No, I don't think I'm playing Rockies bats on this slate. I'll go to other low-owned spots, like the Royals who we talked about.
I'm with you there. Let's get to Cincinnati and the Angels. Angels Stadium here. will be hot and humid. Should play pretty dang hitter friendly in this one. In LA, you've got the lefty Yusei Kikuchi going for the Angels. Really hard guy to kind of trust, but pretty good matchup here against the Reds. I like the Reds quite a bit yesterday. They were pretty solid. But I do like Kikuchi some here too. 8,500 on DraftKings is Kikuchi. And then Nick Martinez coming in at 6,900. Good strikeout matchup here on paper, at least for Martinez, but I don't know. Hard for me to click Martinez. Just not a lot of strikeout upside here. So I think I'm off of him unless you can convince me otherwise. Angels and Reds, Steve, what do you got?
Yeah, the betting markets hate Martinez here. His K prop is not great. Kikuchi, you are playing for the Ks, and the Reds have been just atrocious in the split against left-handed pitching over the last month. 28th in weighted runs created plus, dead last in ISO. So Kikuchi's been volatile, but he has been really strong at home throughout the season. Let me pull up his numbers at home. I had him up earlier. 2.4 ERA, 76 Ks and 75 innings at home. So he has been strong here. I do like him as a tournament play. And then I kind of like the Angels against Martinez here. The Angels bats on a slate where there aren't that many good hitting spots. Playing the Angels power bats here against Nick Martinez, who has had plenty of blow-up starts this season, including last time out, I think is an interesting way to go on this slate. They're affordable on a slate where, we're not really paying up with pitching. They're at home. They're going to be low owned. The Angels are my favorite off the board type of play. The Angels and the Royals are my two lower owned stacks with a pretty strong lean to the Angels in this park. I think they can get to Martinez here. And you do know that when the Angels score, it's going to be with power. Mm-hmm. So I like the Angels here. Mainly the top 6 of the order. We're kind of beating the same drum, but with the pitching that we want on this slate, we're kind of able to play the 5-mans that we want. We're not digging for the Nico Covadises of the world, or yesterday the Dylan Beavers on the O's, guys like that. We're able to play the strong bats on the 5-mans that we're looking at.
Yeah, for sure. When I'm building these lineups, they look strong, right? You get the pitching you want, you get most of the bats you want, maybe 1 or 2 punts in there. Yeah, lineups that you're building, putting out should look pretty good tonight. I think you get most of what you want outside of the full-on expensive Dodgers stack. Last game on the slate, we'll go over pitching stacks, dong draft, pick 6. After we talk about this last game, good time to remind everybody. Hit the like button if you're here enjoying the show. It does help us bring these shows free of charge all year long in the baseball streets. And sports season picking up now, finally, through the dog days of summer, Steve. We've got football coming up, UFC kicking off, and everything people need. Golf, of course, over at Run Pure Sports. Use promo code.
College football starts this weekend, too.
Yeah, can't wait, man. Can't wait for some football weekends. It's been too long. But, yeah, we got everything you need over at Run Pure Sports. Use promo code RPS15 for 15% off your first payment. Steve, let's talk about this last game. We've got the Giants and the Padres. Lefty JP Sears going for the Padres. He's acquired from the A's in the trade deadline. Hasn't gone especially well for Sears. He even got sent down for a brief period. But he will be popular tonight. 6,500 on DraftKings. Matchup is really strong, I think, against this Giants team. Good place to pitch in San Diego. And I was for the most part, off the Cortez chalk, for the very, very much off the Elder chalk. I'm kind of buying in a little bit on JP Sears here, though. I do like him quite a bit tonight, even as a popular play. Steve, where'd you end up with Padres and Giants here?
Yeah, much better pitcher than those two guys. I think Sears is a pitcher that we both like at least a little bit, was just really in a bad spot with his style of play, having to pitch in Sacramento. He signed up to play in Oakland, not in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Petco really, really good park for him. We got winds blowing in from left field, which is also good for him against the right-handed bats of the Giants. We talked about it on Monday, just how bad this Giants lineup has been against left-handed pitching, pretty much just as bad as Cincy has been. And yeah, so Cincy was 28th and 30th, Giants 26th and 29th in weighted runs created plus and ISO in the split over the last month. The really, really high strikeout rate, top 5 strikeout rate in the split. So Sears is a guy that I was kind of hoping people wouldn't be on tonight because the cheap pitchers have burned people the last 2 nights. We're seeing here on Sabre about 25%. I think that's fair. I'll probably be over that, honestly. I think the Shohei-Sears combo is really, really strong tonight, which is why we're kind of able to play all the bats that we want. So I'm with you on Sears. Roop is unplayable in this matchup. Only one start off the IL going to pitch in San Diego. But I don't really want the Padres bats here either. This is just kind of screams a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, where Sears pitches well and Roop pitches okay, but doesn't get the strikeouts that he needs to pay off at 8K.
I'm with you on all that. I think Sears pretty solid. I think he'll be pretty good here. I think he'll get enough strikeouts, go deep in the game enough at that price point to make him worth playing. Roop is out, and yeah, I'm just not going to play bats in this one. Too many other good spots on this 8-game slate. Let's go back over pitching, Steve. I think we're once again pretty much in lockstep on the pitching. Your favorite combination on DraftKings? I think it's close here, but some options we both feel pretty good about.
Yeah, I think we can talk about a couple different things here. I think like for a main team, it's probably going to be Shohei and Sears, but I do think that there are good tournament plays on this slate. We talked about Kikuchi having big upside in this matchup against Cincinnati. I think he's interesting. Mizorowski is a guy that I'm just going to have to get over the field on the slate just because of the upside, the weather, and I think that I'm a bit more confident than most that if things are going well, they're probably going to let him go 5 innings here after the doubleheader yesterday. So, so he's going to be like my biggest tournament play, but the main's probably going to be Shohei and Sears.
Yeah, I love the Ohtani-Sears combination. The other guy I like a lot is Hurston Waldrop for the Braves. Talked about him, of course, when we went over the Braves. He's been excellent in all 3 of his outings. Pretty good matchups in those, but worked up to 95 pitches. Stuff grades out well. And the Braves let these guys go, right? These youngsters that come up, we've seen it. Obviously, Strider is not himself, but when he was, they let him pitch. We saw it with Schwellenbach, again, injured. But, yeah, I think Waldrop, they're going to see what they got in him. So I think he's going to be close to a 100-pitch pitcher most times out. And despite the White Sox, swinging hot bats, I honestly think those are mostly due to the matchup, Steve. I love the matchup with Strider. I loved it against Elder, and I think Waldrop's just a much better pitcher than those guys right now. So very much in on Hurston Waldrop. Let's go over stacks next. Give me your top 3 stacks you're looking at.
Yeah, so besides the Dodgers here, I'm with you on the Braves. I think they're the best non-Dodgers team tonight. Then the other 2 that I'm going to be on are the Angels, who I just talked about against Martinez. And I like the Royals here. Kind of a weird pitching situation for Texas. They're going to kind of be cobbling things together, I think, on a slate where we can kind of play whoever we want. Those are the slates where I'm more comfortable playing the Royals because I don't really want to touch, Frazier, India, Rave, Isbell. But, if I can play Yaz, Witt, Pasquantino, Garcia, and Salvi, I'm pretty comfortable doing that.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I like those calls. Braves are my number 1. I'll be clear about that. They will be on most of my teams. And then going off that path, obviously the Dodgers, but the A's, the top of the A's lineup against Bailey Ober and a weaker Twins bullpen, I think makes a ton of sense. And then I do like the call on the Angels against Nick Martinez. as a contrarian option. All right, let's do the Dong draft, and we'll finish with pick 6, and then we'll head on over to the Discord, finish our lineups, answer questions, and get ready for this 8-game slate. Steve, Dong draft. I'll give you the free square to take it if you want it. We'll start. Go ahead on your first pick.
No, I'll let you have him again because we're both going to need him, and it was good mojo last night to allow you to have him. I'm going to go to the Angels. I'm going to go with Zach Neto to go yard here against the Reds.
Like it. I'll take the free square, the red hot Michael Harris. Talked a lot about him yesterday, but for those that missed it, seems like a brand new player right now, and the projections just have not caught up to him. So Michael Harris, my first pick.
We go with Trevor Larnach. We talked about wanting these Twins lefties against JT Ginn. And I think the Twins, like mini stacks and one-offs with the lefties, are really strong plays tonight. So I'll go with Larnach.
Love the Twins lefties as well. Like the Larnach call, 3,500. I'll join you on a Twins player. Cody Clemens, masher of right-handed pitching, and they've been letting him play most games when he starts. So hopefully he doesn't come out of a game with a pinch hit, but he'll probably have a home run by the time he does. So I'll take Mr. Clemens. Your last pick, Steve.
Well, I've got to get a Braves player in here. I was hoping that Ozzie Albies was under 3,500, so I get the 1.5x. But I'll go one spot down in the lineup here. Another guy who hits lefties for power, Sean Murphy, 3,400. I also get the 1.5 on him.
That's going to be my last pick. You robbed me. Let's see here. I didn't think you were going to take big Sean Murphy. You've thrown me for a loop. But I instead, you know what? I'm going back to the Twins. Hitting third tonight. Brooks Lee. Really love those Twins lefties against JT Ginn, and I guess that gives me 3 sub $3,500 players. So hopefully another couple of those come through. That would be very nice. I will pull up my screen here for pick 6. We'll go through that, and then we will get to making our lineups. What are we thinking here, Steve? What are our strongest convictions on this slate?
Well, I doubt they have any Mizorowski props.
Probably not. I'll check.
I doubt it.
5 picks available. Ooh, all right. Strikeouts? I mean, that's got to be the Mizorowski play.
Yeah, over 4.5 Ks for Mizorowski.
I like it. We think he can go 5, so I think that's a solid one. So we'll get Mizorowski over on the strikeouts. Any pitchers were really fading?
Let's look at the list real quick. Pitchers that were fading. Don't love the pitchers in Tampa. We could look at like a Cam Schlittler under, or hits allowed, or earned runs, or under strikeouts, something like that. Actually, do they have anything on Martin Perez?
We'll check that next. What do you like for Schlittler here? Under on the 4.5. Earned runs allowed.
I kind of like the under strikeouts here against Tampa.
Yeah, actually a lot of low strikeout rates in that Tampa lineup. So we'll go with Schlittler as a second call, under 4.5 strikeouts. Mizorowski over. Let's see if our guy Martin Perez is available to pick on here. Nope, only as overs. Pass.
Well, no, wait. Is that earned runs allowed over 1.5?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah. Free square.
That's going in there.
Only 0.6, but we'll take the free square. That's all good.
Yeah. Are they posting Harris props again? Because that one came through for us yesterday.
Yes, I did. 3.1 on the home run. That's nice.
I think yesterday we went from we were between the home run and the over 1.5 bases. I mean, he hit both of them.
I think just hits, runs, and RBIs, because we think the whole lineup's going off here.
Yep, I like that.
All right, we need 2 more.
I want to get an Angel in there, Neto or Trout or something for hits, runs, RBIs.
Yeah, we'll get Neto in there.
See what we got for Neto.
1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 1.5 bases.
I kind of like the hits, runs, RBIs. You know, he gets on base, gets knocked in. I like that one. Is that 6 or is that 5? I think that's 5.
That is 5. Let's look at the A's home run props against.
What about Waldrop? You like him a lot.
Oh yeah, we should get Waldrop in there. You're right.
Over 4.5 Ks for Waldrop.
That's easy money there. Yep, let's get it in there.
Yep.
All right, Waldrop over 4.5 strikeouts. Neto over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Harris over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Martin Perez to give up more than 1.5 earned runs. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be a rough night for DC. And then Cam Schlittler under on the 4.5 strikeouts. That'll do it for pick 6 and this show. Steve, when you head on your cruise, you're out of here in the next couple of days, right?
Not a cruise, going down to Cancun. It's my girlfriend's birthday, so we're going for a long weekend. I'll be out Friday through Wednesday, so I'll be back on next Friday's show. So we had to screw around with some show schedules, which is why I've been on a couple of days in a row. But we'll see. I think you will be on the Friday show for me here, and then I believe Stats is on with you next Tuesday. We'll get it covered, and have a good cruise. Certainly, I think a short slate tomorrow. I'm not sure if JT and I will do a show. I think it would be in the morning if we did, but we'll see on that. And I guess until then, that's baseball for today. Thanks for watching. As always, for Steve Boyden, I'm DC. We're out of here.